If you're a reseller, you've probably heard of the phrase summer slowdown. Upon my research, this appears to be true for some and not for others, and unfortunately, it has been true for me. But it has nothing to do with the market or what I'm selling or the season or anything like that. My summer slowdown is 100% my fault, and I'll tell you why and what I'm planning to do about it. Hi, I'm Taylor Jo. I created this channel because I am a reseller newbie. I started in October 2024, and I wanted to document my journey to not only share this with other newbie resellers or people who might be starting or thinking about starting, but I also wanted to create a community and kind of find other people that are resellers and hopefully gather some advice from our more seasoned resellers. I've always been very transparent about my journey, and today's video is no different. I'm gonna be sharing the honest truth, no sugarcoating, and taking a little bit more of a candid, real talk approach to this video than I normally do with my other videos. But before I get too deep into that, I wanna show you guys the absolute proof, the real graph that you saw in my thumbnail that shows that my sales went from crazy good in May to like just skyrocketing down in June. If you watched my 6-month update video or the one where I talked about how I've increased my sales on eBay, you'd know that I'm pretty close to hitting my $1,000 a month goal, and I almost hit that in May. I actually did net over $1,000 in May, but if you take out the cost of goods, I did not. So in my head, my trajectory was just gonna keep going that direction. But unfortunately, it went the other way. Now, it should be noted that I still made more in June than I have of any other month since I started this, except for May. So that's a big plus. But I have a feeling that July is probably going to be even less than June. I'm not entirely unhappy with my results for June, and I know exactly why my sales have been slow. So let me just take it down a notch, relax my shoulders, not look at my script. I mean, on most of my videos, I do have a script that I like to stick to. And the reason that I like to stick to a script is because I have a hard time conveying what I'm trying to say in clear speech without using a script. And you'll notice a lot in my videos that there's a lot of cuts. And the reason that there's a lot of cuts is because I pause a lot. I have a lot of ums. I stutter a lot. I sometimes say the wrong word, or sometimes we'll use filler words that I don't like to use when I'm talking on camera. But I realized that my channel is like all about transparency, and I really just, for this video, I just kind of want to chill, and we're gonna get a little deep today. So if that's not what you're into and you really like my other videos where I am like super scripted and trying to provide really valuable information on the things that I've learned in reselling, you can click off here. But I do think that this video is still gonna be valuable, just maybe in a different way. So anyways, while a lot of full-time or maybe more serious part-time resellers are experiencing summer slowdown due to like market changes or just the type of niche things that they sell, I have one reason and one reason only why my sales are slow, and it is simply because I do not have time. I've said it in just about every video that I've posted that I am a stay-at-home mom, and obviously it is summer break right now. When my kid was in school, I got roughly 2.5 hours per day, Monday through Friday, to work on reselling. That doesn't sound like a lot, but I was actually home from about 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., so that's obviously 4 hours. But I'm a human, so I do have to eat breakfast and lunch, and I also have to take care of the house. I have daily chores that I have to do in order to keep this house in order. And not only do I have a bird, that was perfect, Willie. Thank you for contributing. Yes, I know. You see what I have to deal with. But I also have not one whippet dog, but 2 whippet dogs, and this one is still a puppy, so whew, she's a handful. And last but not least, this guy. So anyways, if you take those 4 hours and you subtract some time from taking care of the zoo and myself, you really get like 2.5 maybe hours a day. And that was when my kid was in school. That was 2.5 hours a day for 5 days a week. Well, now it's summertime, so thankfully, with the help of my village, I'm sorry, Willie, my bird, was very excited about being in this video, so you're probably hearing him whistling in the background. Anyways, thanks to the help of my village, which is the term I use to describe my inner circle of people in my family or friends, I get to have 2 days a week in the summer, usually, not always, but 2 days a week in the summer where I don't have my child with me. Now, this is great, and I'm so grateful for it. What that allows me is roughly 8 hours a week, or 4 hours each day. If you take, the amount of time I have every day and you subtract, again, housekeeping, zookeeping, self-keeping. So I went from having like 12 and a half hours a week to having 8 hours a week. And as you obviously know, I'm not just doing reselling, I'm also doing YouTube. And even though I'm only posting one video every 2 weeks, YouTube is a job. YouTube is a lot of work, believe it or not. However, YouTube is my creative outlet. It's like my passion project. I like reselling, I really do, but I love YouTube. I love talking to the camera. I love talking to you guys and communicating in the comments. I have met so many other really cool resellers through this app that I would not have met otherwise. And there's nothing I love more than that. I am a very, very social, like extroverted, ambiverted person. So this is like my home. I love being here. And if I didn't take the time to do this stuff on YouTube, y'all wouldn't know where I am in my journey. And that's why I created this channel to begin with. So also, this is very important to me to note that of those 2 days a week that I get, I have to take at least one of those 2 days every couple of weeks to myself. And when I say that, I mean, I need to take those 4-ish hours and have them 100% to myself, whether that means going to get a pedicure or sitting at home all day and playing video games or going shopping or doing an exercise class, something that is like just for me. And I need at least one of those days every 2 weeks. Otherwise, I will get what is called burnout. I just want to break it down again here because burnout is a term that is overused right now. Usually a lot of people will say that they are burnt out when they've had a rough day at work or when they've been just like doing the same monotonous task for a very long time. That's not burnout. That's just being tired or being stressed. Burnout is a physically, mentally, and emotionally exhausting syndrome, basically, that happens when your stress is just like so overwhelming. And usually the term is used in like work stress. And for me, my job is being a mom. And even though burnout isn't a disease, I was diagnosed with burnout a time ago when I was stay-at-home momming over the summer. And this was before I realized that I could use my village to help me. And what burnout can do also is exacerbate other mental illnesses like depression and anxiety, which I am clinically diagnosed with both. And this is why I wanted to do this video today, was to kind of just like open up to you guys real talk. I seem super bubbly and happy all the time on this app, and I really am like that in my personal life most of the time. But due to having these mental health diagnoses, I have to be very careful about the way that I plan my time. And to be honest, again, YouTube is one of the things that keeps me out of that. So YouTube doesn't burn me out. If I was posting more than one video a week, I'd probably get burnt out on it. But I specifically picked this every 2 weeks schedule because I knew that I didn't want my creative outlet, the thing that I love, to be something that eventually exhausts me. And I feel exactly the same way about reselling and about being a parent. So I have to take that time to myself or I will feel burnt out parenting. What happens when you experience burnout is you get detached and have like a more negative attitude towards your day-to-day activities. And for me, my day-to-day activity is being a mom. So experiencing burnout, getting detached and feeling negative about being a parent, that's not good for anybody. It's not good for my kids, it's not good for me, it's not good for my husband, it's not good for anybody. So I just have to be very careful about these things. And I think most people should also be very mindful about your mental health. And I'm not saying this just as an excuse for taking a break. I am extremely grateful that reselling is not something I have to do. Now, the income that we've earned from reselling has made a difference in our lifestyles, even if it's just slightly so. But if I stopped reselling, if I stopped earning money in any capacity, we would still be able to live comfortably. And I'm so, so grateful for that. I'm very, very privileged. I'm very, very lucky to be able to do that. But basically, overall, what I'm saying is that for me, reselling and even making YouTube videos will 100% take a back seat if I even start feeling a little bit burnt out. So prioritizing what little time I have right now to myself and to my family is kind of what's causing my summer slowdown. Now, you might be wondering, what am I gonna do to fix it? If you've been following me for a while, you know that my goal is to make $1,000 a month on average by the end of the year. And that's $1,000 net and after cost of goods. And as I said, last month, I actually did make $1,000 net. I made just over $1,000. But after cost of goods, it's under $1,000. So we're so close to hitting that. And I don't really consider this bad month in June to be going backwards. I just consider it a valley. There will be a mountain afterwards. Thankfully, summers off where I live are very short. So in literally about a month from now, I will be able to get back into full swing. And because the new school my kid is going to is very close in proximity to our house, whereas the old one was literally a half-hour drive away, I will have significantly more time than I even did last year. I don't exactly know how it's going to play out yet. I won't know until I really get into the full swing of things, but I'm going to have many hours a week to not only work on reselling, but to also work on YouTube. So you won't be getting these little short, weird, unedited videos from me very often. Although I do feel like this video is 100% necessary. I do like to add a little bit more spice, a little bit more editing into my videos. But I will have more time to do that in the fall. And I will also have time to source and time to list and time to just pay a lot more attention to what I'm doing. There's so much that comes into reselling, a big part of it being like research, just like researching what I want to do next and like just what has high value. And I've been researching lately more style-based sourcing, which is super fun. I actually was able to last weekend go to the Goodwill outlet store, which is kind of far away from me, but my mom wanted to go and she's my thrifting buddy, and we went. I only spent 1 hour there. I completely filled my cart and was able to get out of there for $70. I got 40 items. I already washed and hung everything, and putting everything on a rack, like on a clothing rack. I told you guys I was gonna do that in one of my videos where I bought a clothing rack because when you buy things from the Goodwill bins, everything is like really grimy and you have to wash it, like 100% have to wash it. And I didn't want my clothes to get wrinkly after washing it. So I was like, I need a clothing rack because I'm not washing 1 or 2 pieces. I'm washing 40 pieces of clothing. So I hung it all up on a clothing rack, and it got me feeling like maybe I should live sell this. Like, I really want to get into live selling. I find that super interesting. I think it'd be really fun. However, I don't know how to get people to come to your live show. This is something I need to do a lot more research on. But if you're a reseller and you've done live selling on any platform, I don't even care what platform, just you tell me if you've done live selling on any platform. Please, if you have any advice on how to get people to come to your show, let me know what it is, because I've seen resellers try to do live selling. No one shows up to the show, and then they just wasted an hour of their lives. So time is our most valuable asset, and I really don't want to waste that. So anyways, I know this is a much shorter video than I usually post, but I think the video itself explains why that is. If you happen to also be in a slower period of your reselling journey, zoom out. Take a look at the big picture. Remember why you started reselling in the first place. Your life affects your sales, and not only is that normal, but that's okay. You can always make more money, but you can't make more time. And no one on their deathbed ever said, I really wish I had spent more time working. Now go enjoy your life. I'm gonna go enjoy mine, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.